It moves with remarkable speed, closing the distance before prey can respond. A short surge from the water's edge is often enough to shift the entire situation in an instant. And as the surface begins to ripple, it raises the question of which animal can still make it beyond its reach. The crocodile is among the most ancient predators still in existence. Shaped by nature for an almost perfect ambush strategy, it has maintained that role through long shifts in the natural world. In larger species, a full-grown individual can reach about 15 feet in length and weigh close to 2,000 pounds. Its powerful jaws, along with eyes and nostrils set high on the head, allow it to remain nearly submerged while still tracking every movement along the shoreline. In swamps and wide rivers, that stillness is only a pause before the crocodile makes its move. Across the vast grasslands, an invisible yet unforgiving boundary exists along the edge of murky water. This is where the power of the land's ruler faces one of its greatest tests. An adult lion, weighing around 420 pounds, possesses remarkable burst speed. Yet those physical advantages seem to fade before the quiet mystery of the river. Beneath the still surface, a Nile crocodile, about 16 feet long, lies motionless like a submerged log. It does not reveal its presence, only waits patiently for the moment to turn an ordinary step into a dangerous test. As the lion begins to cross, the river's most formidable force suddenly emerges. A powerful snap forces the king of the grassland to recoil in an instant. In that critical moment, what keeps it alive is no longer raw strength, but heightened awareness to restore a safe distance. But fortune is not shared equally. For younger lions without experience, the water is not a challenge, but a place of serious risk. As the pride looks on, younger lions may slip in the unstable current and quickly lose control of their path. Here, the river does not record victories. It preserves only the costly lessons of survival. Evolution has equipped the cheetah with legs built to conquer dry grasslands, but it has not provided the tools to face the unseen presence beneath the river. At this boundary, every step toward the muddy edge reduces the odds of survival to a minimum. Beneath the murky surface, a prehistoric force is making its own calculations. The encounter unfolds in an instant. When a powerful grip takes hold, every advantage of feline agility quickly fades away. This is no longer a typical pursuit, but the firm application of natural forces upon a body designed for lightness and speed. nature leaves no room for compromise. For the cheetah, yielding its catch to a rival in the mud is not weakness. It is a precise decision to preserve its future. In this harsh equation of survival, stepping back becomes the strategy that allows it to see another dawn. In the realm of armored predators, silence often carries the weight of a warning. When the dry season tightens the flow, water levels drop to just a few inches, turning vast rivers into narrow, stagnant channels. Under the intense heat, a full-grown male measuring about 15 feet guards its territory like an impenetrable fortress. When an intruder weighing over 1,000 pounds crosses the boundary, the tension in the air thickens instantly. There is no room for compromise. The water erupts with a powerful tail strike, followed by the sharp clash of armor-like bodies as hard as stone. With immense jaw pressure, these ancient reptiles stand ready to assert dominance in a tense territorial clash. In their world, direct confrontation is the final gamble. The weaker one often chooses to submerge and withdraw into darker waters, conserving energy for the harsh days ahead. In these still waters, authority is defined by superior strength and control of space. Retreat is not defeat, but a precise calculation, because in the world of these ancient rulers, a single mistake can mean losing its place in the struggle for survival. The Burmese python embodies patience and pure muscular strength. About 16 feet long, its body is a mass of muscle, operating without venom or bursts of speed. This reptile dominates through stillness, powerful constricting coils, and rare endurance that allows it to maintain the advantage in any encounter. Yet today, the hunter has made a mistake by moving too deep into the territory of an ancient force. The water erupts in a sudden surge. Jaws capable of delivering around 3,700 pounds per square inch secure a firm hold. As the confrontation intensifies, a high-stakes confrontation unfolds, one side tightening its coils in a relentless attempt to neutralize the opponent's advantage, the other maintaining firm control through its grip. The python immediately coils in resistance, trying to regain control. But the crocodile executes a powerful rotational maneuver, using its weight and environmental advantage to gain full control of the encounter. In this clash between two apex predators, driving force and extreme patience determine the outcome of the encounter. As the water settles once more, the advantage belongs to the one that understands its domain. In the wild, true strength lies not only in muscle, but in the ability to turn the environment into an ally. Along the quiet banks of the Pantanal, Where tall reeds conceal every movement, the caiman has long stood as a symbol of power in the water. A full-grown individual can weigh around 130 pounds, protected by thick, rugged armor that makes most predators hesitate. Yet in this vast wetland, there is still one rival bold enough to disrupt that balance: the jaguar. Unlike big cats that rule only on land, the jaguar turns the water's edge into its own domain. With a body reaching about 7 feet in length and one of the strongest bite forces among all cats, it does not act with noise, but with absolute patience. When it spots a caiman about 8.5 feet long, lying motionless under the intense heat, the jaguar quickly lowers its center of gravity, gathering all of its muscle into a single moment of waiting. Then the rhythm changes. From the sloped bank, the jaguar explodes forward in a short, precise, and controlled burst. Every effort by the caiman to turn back toward the water becomes futile against the extraordinary strength of the predator. The jaguar swiftly pulls the caiman onto the shallows, restricts its return to deeper water, and ends the struggle with remarkable technique. The encounter is decided as quickly and quietly as it began. In the Pantanal, dominance does not belong to the one that holds the water, but to the one that can master both worlds. In murky wetlands, where even the slightest misstep can reverse the outcome, superior swimming ability and confidence in waterlogged terrain have helped it maintain its highest standing. On the survival map of East Africa, there are bottlenecks where the cost of passage is measured in survival itself. When more than 1.5 million wildebeest press against steep banks rising dozens of feet, the pressure of survival transforms a once calm river into an arena filled with hidden threats. At this moment, the Serengeti is no longer an open plain, but a relentless natural filter. Here, armored hunters have waited patiently for months. Their stillness is a perfect strategy of energy conservation. As the herd surges forward, forming a chaotic, living current, crocodiles begin to move in close. A single misstep, a brief loss of balance by any individual, is enough to trigger instincts shaped since prehistoric times. With a grip force reaching around 3,700 pounds per square inch, the predator does more than secure its target. It uses weight and current to gain full control within the rushing water. The struggle unfolds quietly, and the migration continues to flow toward the opposite bank, leaving behind those unable to complete the crossing. Nature always distributes its outcomes with balance. The hunter gains a meal to sustain its lineage, and the migrating herd sheds its most vulnerable members. This is how the Serengeti operates. Harsh, yet balanced down to the smallest detail. honey badger charges straight into danger as if fear has never existed. It does not need to be the largest, only bold enough to turn every encounter into a tense standoff. Each forward surge carries pure survival instinct and a force that makes rivals hesitate. When it refuses to back down, who still has the strength to stand in its way? Beneath the broken shade of the savanna, the African rock python appears like a living steel cable, powerful and imposing. An adult can grow up to 20 feet long and weigh nearly 200 pounds, lying in wait with absolute patience. Without using venom, it depends on massive muscle power to build an ambush zone along game trails, reinforcing its status as one of the continent's most formidable reptiles. But when a bold honey badger enters its striking range, the encounter does not follow the usual pattern. In an instant, the python throws its coils around the intruder, applying about 7 pounds per square inch of pressure across each square inch of its opponent's body. Even while held under that intense pressure, the honey badger proves why it is considered one of the most relentless animals in the wild. With skin nearly 0.25 inches thick and an unusually loose body structure, it keeps twisting and turning to reduce the force of the tightening coils. The sudden arrival of a pack of wild conids becomes the variable that completely shifts the balance. In the brief moment when the python is distracted by these opportunistic newcomers, the honey badger makes a remarkable escape. It forcefully breaks free, then quickly retreats into the brush with its prize, leaving its opponent behind in visible surprise. On this unforgiving savanna, the final victor needs more than muscle alone, but also the nerve to control chaos and turn the balance of fate. In the natural world, the honey badger never chooses the easy path. Its struggle for survival leads it into unforgiving wetlands, the domain of crocodiles. Here, every inch of ground falls under the control of a predator with a staggering bite force of up to 3,700 pounds per square inch, a number powerful enough to change the course of nearly any confrontation in an instant. But for this animal, weighing barely 30 pounds, danger is not a barrier. It is an invitation to test the limits. Beneath the brush near the water's edge, the hunt begins. The honey badger does not engage head-on. It watches with patience, selecting targets that have let their guard down during moments of rest. Then it moves into the blind spot, quietly probing for openings between layers of armor-like protection as hard as stone. The moment its opponent shows even the slightest lapse, the honey badger delivers a decisive move that shifts the entire balance of power. The moment ends as the small figure pulls its prize back into the brush, fading from view. A reminder that advantage does not come from size, but from the ability to read and exploit the smallest openings in a world that seems untouchable. High in the canopy, the leopard moves like a muscular phantom, weighing around 150 pounds. With night vision about 6 times stronger than that of a human, it is a master of patience. But today, the top predator is not tracking a vulnerable antelope. Its focus is the savanna's most defiant fighter, the honey badger. The encounter turns every calculation into a harsh test of survival. After spotting its opponent alone, the leopard keeps shifting angles in search of an opening. But the honey badger shows no hesitation, answering again and again with harsh warning calls. Each powerful lunge is checked by the astonishing resilience of this small but unyielding animal. The true mistake comes when the predator drifts too close to the boundary of a young cub. In an instant, a surge of fierce defense erupts. With sharp claws and an extreme instinct to protect its young, the honey badger turns the area into a place no intruder can approach lightly. Under that intense psychological pressure, the larger predator is forced to retreat and abandon the confrontation. On the unforgiving savanna, the hyena represents a hunting style built on practicality and raw power. Each adult weighs around 140 pounds and carries a remarkable bite force of about 1,100 pounds per square inch. A biological weapon powerful enough to handle even the hardest natural barriers. Yet when faced with a honey badger, this powerful hunter suddenly pauses with calculated caution. After spotting a lone target near the brush, the hyenas close in with their deep, unsettling calls. Facing an overwhelming group, the honey badger activates its highest level of defense. It releases a powerful odor from its scent glands, creating a no-go zone that spreads for more than 20 feet. Without showing the slightest hesitation, this 30-pound animal raises its coarse fur and prepares to turn itself into a furious, compact force armed with sharp teeth and claws nearly 2 inches long. The confrontation ends when the reward no longer matches the risk. And once again, the honey badger proves that determination can sometimes be the strongest weapon of all. In the wild, some confrontations are not decided by physical strength, but by the ability to become too troublesome to engage. The honey badger, with a body weighing under 30 pounds, is a master of this approach, boldly standing its ground even against predators up to 14 times its size. When surrounded by a pride of lions, instead of showing fear, the honey badger adopts an active defensive strategy. It raises its coarse fur and constantly shifts direction to shield vulnerable areas, disrupting the rhythm of the approaching threat. Rather than yielding to jaws capable of delivering around 1,000 pounds per square inch of bite force, it relies on rapid reflexes and its natural defensive scent to create a highly unpleasant buffer. This refusal to retreat generates reverse pressure, causing even full-grown lions to hesitate in the face of such relentless defiance. As the discomfort builds beyond tolerance, the larger predators are forced to disengage and search for an easier target. The honey badger walks away, not only intact, but with control of the encounter firmly in its favor. The savanna is not just a place of pursuit, but a vast system of information that the honey badger has learned to decode. It does not search at random, but operates with remarkable precision, remembering tree hollows across a range of 20 square miles. Each location may hold a hidden source of energy waiting to be claimed. Honey, the liquid gold most fiercely guarded in the wild. To reach that rich reward, the honey badger must face strong wooden strongholds. Its 2-inch claws work like steel drills, breaking into the structure of a beehive. Unmoved by the fury of thousands of winged defenders, its skin, nearly 0.25 inches thick, functions like a natural shield that helps reduce the impact of repeated attacks. It focuses on the most nutritious parts of the comb, then retreats with great speed before the swarm can fully close in. In this unforgiving world, endurance is the key that opens the door to abundance. It is powerful proof of nature's remarkable design in an animal that never chooses to back down. In the animal kingdom, every species holds a place within a natural hierarchy, except the honey badger. It does not accept any rank imposed by nature. Its bold journey begins as it moves close to giants, weighing around 13,000 pounds, such as the African elephant. Rather than trying to overpower them, the honey badger uses disruption, forcing its opponent to lose focus. Even when a single swing can send it sliding more than 10 feet away, its flexible skin allows it to recover instantly and continue the challenge. It does not stop there. The honey badger then turns its attention to the oryx, an animal equipped with horns nearly 47 inches long and highly dangerous. Each approach becomes a quick test, allowing it to read blind spots and reaction speed. It turns these dangerous defenses into opportunities, using remarkable persistence to take control of the encounter. With intelligence and extraordinary recovery, the honey badger moves on like a quiet victor. Across the sun-scorched sea of grass, a confrontation unfolds in a way even the lion did not anticipate. Each attempt to impose control is pushed back, and every surge forward begins to slip beyond its command. Within only a few brief moments, the familiar authority of the hunter meets a resistance that refuses to yield. When the target does not run, the balance of the encounter no longer belongs to the lion alone. The lion is the only big cat that lives within a complex social structure, forming proud groups across the African grasslands. Yet standing at the top of the predator hierarchy does not mean immunity from resistance. Every encounter becomes a lesson in distance, timing, and the limits of strength. Through these confrontations, experience is forged, along with the composure and confidence of a true ruler. Because on the grasslands, even a king must grow through challenge. Across the sunburned sands of the Serengeti, there exists a creature often called the swordsman of the desert. The oryx does not run. It stands its ground. With a body weight of around 450 pounds, this antelope carries a formidable long-range defense system. A pair of dual horns reaching about 4 feet in length, sharply pointed and harder than ordinary bone. The encounter begins in the breathless stillness of land, nearing 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Two young lions, short on experience but full of boldness, attempt to challenge the balance of the food chain. As the distance closes, the oryx shows no hesitation. It lowers its center of gravity, turning its horns into an unbreakable barrier. At the moment the lions press their pressure from behind, the oryx delivers a precise horn sweep with the accuracy of a master fencer. The force of that motion is enough to shatter any attempt at dominance, forcing the inexperienced hunters to reconsider what defines a target. At this fragile boundary, survival does not rely on teeth and claws alone, but on unwavering discipline. The oryx does not stand its ground merely to endure. It stands to defend the dignity of a creature shaped by one of the harshest lands on Earth. Do not be misled by the stillness of a rhinoceros, as it stands among the most heavily armored giants of the savanna. With a body mass reaching up to 5,000 pounds and skin nearly 2 inches thick, this animal carries a biological defense system that is extremely difficult to penetrate. Its muscular strength can generate enough force to push back even a full-grown African buffalo in a single clash. Under normal conditions, The difference in size and a keratin horn exceeding 20 inches create a barrier that discourages any approach from predators. However, when food becomes scarce, lions are forced into high-risk tests of their limits. The tension peaks when a pregnant rhinoceros becomes restricted in movement after getting stuck in mud. 3 lions begin to tighten their formation, using the situation to search for an opening. But when the instinct to protect its lineage is triggered, a surge of power emerges. With remarkable effort, the rhinoceros breaks free from the mud and immediately reasserts control through powerful charges driven by sheer mechanical force. Faced with this explosive momentum, the formation collapses, and those that took the risk are forced to withdraw from the dangerous path of impact to preserve their survival. On the savanna, energy is the most valuable currency of all, and the African wild dog stands among its greatest managers. Even at only 70 pounds, it achieves a remarkable hunting success rate of 80%. Instead of gambling on high-risk collisions, these hunters rely on a draining style of pressure, wearing down opponents through agility and a highly intelligent control of pace. This encounter becomes a test between solitary power and collective strategy. As the lioness attempts to assert her position, the wild dogs respond with a carefully measured campaign of energy depletion. Capable of sustaining speeds of 37 miles per hour over long distances, they rotate pressure continuously to erode their opponent's advantage. Against such a flexible, multi-layered system, even a predator weighing 400 pounds must carefully consider the cost of confrontation. The decision of larger predators to withdraw is not a sign of weakness, but an acknowledgement of a smarter form of energy management. Within the cycle of survival, the intelligence of the pack once again proves its place, bringing the encounter to a close with the quiet authority of those who understand how to control the game. In the harsh heart of the savanna, the stripes across a zebra's body are not merely a mark of nature, but a highly effective visual disguise. Behind what may seem like a fragile appearance stands a body weighing up to 700 pounds, carrying enough strength to turn it into a dangerous opponent rather than simply a pursued target. When the chase reaches speeds of nearly 40 miles per hour, the life or death moment shifts from a contest of speed to the precision of reflexes. At the exact instant the hunter commits its weight to the final pounce, the zebra activates its ultimate defense. A powerful rear kick delivering force close to 3,000 pounds per square inch, enough to change the course of an entire hunt. In the natural world, an error measured in mere millimeters can mark the boundary between an ending and a new chance to survive. Yet survival instinct reaches its highest intensity at the edge of motherhood. When a young one is threatened, the mother does not retreat. She turns back and stands firm, like a living barrier between danger and the final hope of her lineage. A rapid series of defensive kicks becomes more than a mechanical reaction. It is the strongest expression of the will to live. All of it reveals a simple truth. Within the harsh cycle of survival, the greatest strength is the power of motherhood. Beneath the murky currents of Africa's rivers lies an invisible boundary that even the most confident predators rarely dare to cross. This is the domain of the hippopotamus, a living fortress weighing up to 4,000 pounds. Behind its seemingly calm presence stands a defense system shaped to overwhelm any challenger through sheer mass and raw momentum. When a lion approaches the water's edge, the encounter immediately turns into a question of survival physics. The hippopotamus rises from the water with tremendous force, using its size and the pressure of the surrounding current to drive the intruder back. With a bite force reaching about 1,800 pounds per square inch and tusk-like teeth measuring up to 18 inches, every movement delivers a clear message of territorial authority. Faced with such overwhelming mechanical power, retreat becomes the only sensible choice. As intense heat drains the region's water sources, competition for space grows sharper than ever. Leaving its watery stronghold, the hippopotamus reveals an unexpectedly capable presence on land to maintain control of its territory. Any approach is pushed back by a defensive range that extends in nearly every direction, displaying explosive strength. In this way, the ruler of the rivers reasserts order and continues the story of survival across the savanna. Unlike most carnivorous species, the world of the spotted hyena operates under a strict matriarchal system. Dominant females, weighing up to 190 pounds, lead the clan through territorial campaigns. Their long-standing rivals are lion prides, the force that holds supreme authority across the savanna. When the sounds of a successful hunt carry through the grasslands, the hyenas do not choose a direct confrontation. Instead, they establish a calculated, multi-layered encirclement strategy. By dividing into smaller groups and taking turns applying pressure, the hyenas force the lions to keep shifting their focus. With a bite force reaching around 1,100 pounds per square inch, they use every brief opening in time to break control over the prize. After about 20 minutes of constant spatial pressure, the lion's energy reserves gradually begin to reach a critical point. Against an opponent with greater endurance and superior numbers, withdrawal becomes the tactical choice to preserve strength. This is a clear demonstration that raw individual power must sometimes yield to group discipline and a sustained strategy of energy depletion. With a single launch from the ground, the predator turns silence into a decisive move. As the dark mouth opens wide, every path to safety suddenly narrows. Each movement is clean, precise, leaving no room for error. In the natural world, a split-second mistake is enough to shift the entire outcome. Once the advantage is secured, time becomes the true measure of survival. With nearly 4,000 species distributed worldwide, excluding polar regions and isolated islands, snakes have turned a limbless body into a supreme survival tool. From species that use venom as a decisive biological switch to masters of constriction that rely on overwhelming pressure, they assert their place as highly efficient predators. Within ecosystems, snakes serve as population regulators, acting as a quiet yet powerful balancing force. Under the 110 degrees Fahrenheit heat radiating from the dark volcanic rocks of Fernandina Island, a new generation of marine iguanas faces one of the planet's harshest trials. These small creatures have only one path to survive, crossing a hazardous stretch of rock before being surrounded by the residents waiting patiently in the shadows. From deep crevices, racer snakes emerge like fast-moving ribbons, ready to surge at speeds of around 10 miles per hour to form a natural barrier. The moment a hatchling appears, a dramatic chase begins. Dozens of dark forms weave and close in from all directions with striking coordination. In this confined space, every fragile step of a young iguana becomes a gamble, where even a brief hesitation can end the escape attempt. Yet through extraordinary effort, the quickest individuals manage to launch themselves onto rock walls, rising up to 15 feet, where safety awaits. Here, a new life cycle begins, marked by one of the most remarkable escapes in the natural world. In the shadowed wetlands of North America, the eastern diamondback rattlesnake appears as a master of patience. With a muscular body stretching close to 8 feet, it is a predator shaped to adapt and dominate under harsh conditions. From amphibians to small mammals, very few movements escape the keen detection of this ambush hunter. And at this moment, it is quietly tracking the path of its next meal. As it approaches the sandy edge, the snake detects a group of young alligators basking, ancient descendants of the swamp, yet still inexperienced. With remarkable control over its movement, it closes the distance in near total silence. The encounter unfolds in just about 175 milliseconds, far faster than the prey's ability to react. The action shows immediate efficiency, demonstrating the efficiency of a highly specialized predator. But in the wild, no advantage lasts forever. Even the rattlesnake must remain cautious of threats from above, such as the swift dive of a hawk, from the ground, and sometimes from fully grown alligators themselves. In these wetlands, the line between hunter and hunted can reverse in a single moment. Under the intense heat of the Arizona desert, a quiet struggle for dominance unfolds. The king snake, bearing its title not only for presence but also for its tendency to pursue its own kind, has found a target. Its opponent is a western patch-nosed snake, measuring close to 3 feet, nearly equal in size to the hunter itself. The encounter erupts in a swirl of sand and dust. The king snake uses remarkable muscular strength to apply its signature constriction, generating pressure far beyond the prey's tolerance, estimated at around 30 pounds per square inch. Although the patch-nosed snake resists with direct bites, the king snake's thick scales and controlling instinct remain unshaken. As resistance gradually weakens, the king snake begins a calm and methodical feeding process. With a highly flexible jaw capable of wide expansion, it coordinates its jaw muscles through a highly specialized swallowing sequence. Even when facing species with complex biological defenses, such as rattlesnakes, the king snake maintains control through its ability to neutralize certain natural compounds from its opponent. Within Arizona's ecosystem, precision and control have made this reptile an important regulating force. In the natural world, this reflects the ongoing flow of energy, where each encounter contributes to maintaining a stable balance across populations. On the African savanna, a male lion moves like a commanding shadow, imposing order on every motion around him. The presence alone affirms that raw strength still holds authority across the grasslands. But in the natural world, power is not measured by size alone. It can reside within the most unassuming forms. From within the tall grass, an 8-foot shadow glides forward at an astonishing 10 miles per hour. The black mamba. The encounter unfolds in an instant, breaking the stillness of a resting king. The lion rises immediately, only to face a body lifted high, poised in a firm defensive stance. In a brief moment of contact, the rhythm of survival shifts completely for the dominant predator of the plains. Steps that were once steady begin to slow, growing heavy, as if an unseen force is tightening its grip. True to its nature, the black mamba does not linger. In this unforgiving world, true advantage does not belong to the largest, but to the one that delivers the most precise action at the decisive moment. In the tropical rainforest, a nearly 18-foot figure moves with silent authority, the king cobra. Unlike typical predators, this ruler can raise its body up to 3 feet high, spreading its iconic hood to detect even the slightest vibrations in its surroundings. It is not just a snake. It is a commanding presence, even among its own kind. In the Western Ghats, the hunt begins after more than a month without feeding. When a rat snake unknowingly enters its strike range, and sudden reaction immediately locks onto the target. In an instant, its fangs deliver a powerful venom load. The overwhelming precision and refined reflexes leave little chance to recover. As resistance gradually fades, the king cobra begins a calm and methodical feeding process. Unable to chew, it uses a highly flexible jaw structure to guide the prey steadily into its elongated digestive tract. In the quiet of the forest, this apex predator once again affirms its dominance through a flawless natural mechanism. When finished, the ruler retreats into the shadows, continuing its solitary journey. In this domain, authority is not given. It is established through each well-timed move. In the humid wetlands of the southeastern United States, a dark, nearly 4-foot shadow moves quietly through the water, the cottonmouth. Weighing around 3 pounds, it is not only a predator, but also a source of fear even among its own kind. Suddenly, an eastern diamondback rattlesnake measuring about 25 inches appears. The confrontation between 2 cold-blooded hunters unfolds in intense silence. The rattlesnake attempts to warn with its distinctive rattle, but against an opponent with thick skin and a natural resistance to certain biological effects, those signals seem ineffective. Using muscular strength and a jaw structure capable of opening up to 180 degrees, the cottonmouth applies a decisive form of control. There is no room for hesitation, as the larger animal quickly takes command through instinct. The natural order is reinforced once again, concluding another cycle of selection in the wild. Hidden among the dry thickets of the savanna, an approximately 8-foot snouted cobra patiently sets the stage for survival. Under the 100 degrees Fahrenheit heat, its dark scales become nearly invisible, creating a quiet but constant threat. This is not just a predator. It is a master of chemical defense, capable of delivering up to 0.1 ounces of neurotoxin in a single activation. When it detects a monitor lizard moving along a dusty trail, the cobra uses a refined bite and release strategy instead of wasting energy in a prolonged struggle. Rapid strikes deliver the toxin directly into the target, quickly reducing the opponent's ability to respond. The monitor lizard struggles forward, but each step grows heavier under the spreading effects of the venom. Once resistance has fully faded, the ruler of the brush quietly moves in to claim the result of a perfectly executed pursuit. In this unforgiving world, patience is the ultimate weapon, and time always favors the one that carries the more powerful venom. After each encounter, the crocodile continues to show why it remains a formidable force in nature. That strength comes not only from raw power, but also from patience and precise timing. In a highly competitive environment, the ability to control space makes the difference. If you want to explore more high-stakes encounters, press like and subscribe. Because even when the water appears calm, the tension is often just beginning.